Hare Krishna, Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. We continue reading from Caitanya Caritamrita Adi Lila, chapter 7, text 121. Vyasera sutrete kahe parinam vad, Vyasa Branta Balitara Uthaila Vivad. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. In his Vedanta Sutra, Srila Vyasadeva has described that everything is but a transformation of the energy of the Lord. Shankaracharya, however, has misled the world by commenting that Vyasadeva was mistaken. Thus, he has raised great opposition to theism throughout the entire world. So, in the Vedanta Sutra, Srila Vyasadeva says that everything that we see is energy of God, transformation of energy of the Lord. So, there is Krishna, and everything else that we see belongs to Krishna, because everything is Krishna's energy. So Krishna is there, and everything and everyone else belongs to Krishna. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains in the Vedanta Sutra of Srila Vyasadeva, it is definitely stated that all cosmic manifestations result from transformations of various energies of the Lord. So this material world is also energy of Krishna. The material world that we are seeing is an energy of Krishna. Shankaracharya, however, not accepting the energy of the Lord, thinks that it is the Lord who is transformed. So Shankaracharya, because he had this service to mislead the people who don't want to believe in God, it was his service. So how did he misinterpret the Vedanta Sutra? He said that, oh, this material world is not energy of God, but God himself has changed now. So there is no more any God. Now God is not there anymore. Now, because now he has become the world. So he has taken many clear statements from the Vedic literature and twisted them to try to prove that if the Lord or the absolute truth were transformed, his oneness would be disturbed. Thus, he has accused Srila Vyasadeva of being mistaken. In developing his philosophy of monism, therefore, he has established Vivartavad, or the Mayavad theory of illusion. So Shankaracharya, he said that Vyasadeva was an illusion. He says that no, it's not that everything is energy of God, it's that God has become everything. So now God does not exist anymore. This is how he has misinterpreted the Vedic scriptures. And so this is what is called monism. Monism, or the Mayavad theory of illusion, that everything is illusion. In the Brahma Sutra, 2nd chapter, the first aphorism is as follows: Tad anantavyam arambhana shabdayadibhyaha. Commenting on this sutra in his Shariraka Bhasya, Shankaracharya has introduced the statement Vacharam Bhanam Vikaro Nama Dheya from the Chandogya Upanishad 6.1.4 to try to prove that the acceptance of the transformation of the energy of the Supreme Lord is faulty. So the truth is that God is one and he has many, many energies. That's why he's called omnipotent. When we say God is omnipotent, means he has energies. He has potencies. Many potencies. Everything is Krishna's energy. But what Shankaracharya has said, he completely negates this omnipotency of God and says, no, God has no energy. It is God himself who has to change and become the material world. So God does not exist anymore. So he has tried to defy this transformation of energy in a misguided way, which will be explained later. Since his conception of God is impersonal, he does not believe that the entire cosmic manifestation is a transformation of the energies of the Lord. For as soon as one accepts the various energies of the Absolute Truth, one must immediately accept the Absolute Truth to be personal, not impersonal. So the truth is that the Absolute Truth is a person. God is a person who has many energies. As soon as we say God has many energies, we have to accept that God is a person. Because if he has energies, then who is he? He is a person who has energies. So this is the reason that Adi Shankaracharya says, oh, there's no energies. Why? Because he wants to prove that God is not a person. Since his conception of God is impersonal, he does not believe. A person can create many things by the transformation of his energy. For example, a businessman transforms his energy by establishing many big factories or big organizations, yet he remains a person, although his energy has been transformed into these many factories or business concerns. The Mayavadi philosophers do not understand this simple fact. Their tiny brains and poor fund of knowledge cannot afford them sufficient enlightenment to realize that when a man's energy is transformed, the man himself is not transformed, but remains the same person. So when we see a businessman, a big company is there, factories are there, people are working, it's going on, there's so much activity happening. What happened is that the owner of the company, it was one man before, and then he worked hard and he set up this entire infrastructure. Now it's like a huge company there. Now, does it mean that the person does not exist anymore? Now, just because there's this huge company, there's this huge infrastructure, big factories, big machines are there, does it mean that the man who started this company, who started the factory, does not exist anymore? What do you think? Does it mean that this man has become the machines and he has become the walls of the factory? Or he still exists? It was just he by his energy, by his intelligence, by his hard work, he has created this empire for himself. What do you think? No thoughts? Well, so the truth is that the man still exists. We have seen, so many big companies start with one man. Walmart, all companies basically. They start with one person and they become huge international companies. But the man still exists. He's just created this company by his energy. That is what we have to understand, that God has created this material world by his energy. God still exists. Not believing in the fact that the energy of the Absolute Truth is transformed, Shankaracharya has propounded his theory of illusion. This theory states that although the Absolute Truth is never transformed, we think that it is transformed, which is an illusion. Shankaracharya does not believe in the transformation of the energy of the Absolute Truth, for he claims that everything is one and that the living entity is therefore also one with the Supreme. This is the Mayavad theory. So Shankaracharya's theory that everything is illusion. His theory is that everything is illusion. Everything is Maya. And that the soul is God. God and soul is the same. And this is the Mayavad theory. So Srila Vyasadeva has explained that the Absolute Truth is a person who has different potencies. Merely by his desire that there be creation And by his glance, Sa Aikshata, he created this material world, Sa Asrajata. So, what does Srila Vyasadeva explain in the Vedanta Sutra? He explains that God is a person who has many energies. And just by the transformation of this energy, this entire world comes into existence. God willed, it is his desire that there be this material world. So he created the material world. After creation, he remains the same person. He's not transformed into everything. We can see also, when we have a desire to create something, we want to go cook something, we will go prepare a nice feast in the kitchen by our energy. And we will create so many dishes by our energy. Now, does it mean that we made so much food, so now I don't exist anymore? I have become the food now. No, the food is there. I just used my energy to make the food. So similarly, God is there. He just used his energy to make this material world. So one should accept that the Lord has inconceivable energies and that it is by his order and will that varieties of manifestations have come into existence. So this is the point we have to accept, that God is a person and he has these energies which we are not able to understand, inconceivable. When we accept that, oh, just by my material mind, I cannot understand how the energy of God's work, everything will become clear to us. We will be able to understand it. How? By the grace of God, by the mercy of God, because the knowledge that we get is also by the mercy of God. But if we keep denying God does not exist, God is not a person, I am God, he's going to say, well, you don't want to know me. Why shall I give you proper knowledge? You don't want to know, you go think whatever you want to think. So in the Vedic literature, it is said, Satatvato anyatha buddhir vikara iti udharitaha. This mantra indicates that from one fact, another fact is generated. For example, a father is one fact and a son generated from the father is a second fact. Thus, both of them are truths, although one is generated from the other. This generation of a second independent truth from the first truth is called vikar, or transformation, resulting in a byproduct. So the father is there, the son is there. It's not that just because the son is born, the father does not exist anymore. The father is finished, gone, nothing, no more. No, the father is there, the son is there. Similarly, God is there, the soul is there. God does not have to become the soul. We exist eternally. The Supreme Brahman is the absolute truth, and the energies that have emanated from him and are existing separately, such as the living entities and the cosmic manifestation, are also truths. So God is truth, we the soul are the truth, and the material world is the material energy. That's also a truth. This is an example of transformation which is called vikar or parinam. To give another example of vikar, milk is a truth, but the same milk may be transformed into yogurt. This yogurt is a transformation of milk, although the ingredients of yogurt and the milk are the same. So transformation exists. Transformation is a truth. Prabhupada is giving the analogy that from milk we can make yogurt, and it is a truth that milk got transformed into yogurt. So similarly, God exists. We, the living entities, the jivas, the soul, we exist, and the material energy also exists. The soul and the material energy are energies of God. This is the point we need to understand. So we'll stop here for today if there are no comments or questions. Caitanya Caritamrita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.